All right, we are live on YouTube. Put the agenda up here. Good morning, John and Andy.
Morning.
Here comes Ed. Morning, Ed.
Morning, guys. Sorry for the delay. Had a technical difficulty.
No worries. Jason's coming in right now.
Ready to go, Chris? You want to give it a minute?
Yep. Ian's in. I think we got everybody. I think we're good if you're ready.
Okay. Frank Marbury, Town of Chino Valley, Vice Chair, will call this meeting to order. Allison, could you give us a roll call, please?
Sure. Chairman Cherry is absent. Vice Chair Marbury.
Here.
Member Hanks.
Here.
Member Davis.
Here.
Member Mattingly.
Here.
Member Roth. I'm sorry, Member Latier.
Here.
Thank you. Member Winnes.
Here.
And the Prescott National Forest seat is vacant, but we have a quorum.
Okay. Second item is consideration and possible action to approve the August 13, 2020 regular meeting minutes of the Technical Advisory Committee. Has everyone had a chance to read them, and any comments or corrections on those?
I move to accept the minutes as presented.
Okay, we have a motion to accept the minutes. Do we have a second?
I'll second. This is Norm Davis.
Okay, thanks, Norm. I think on Zoom, we do roll call vote, so could we do a roll call vote?
Sure. Vice Chair Marbury.
Yes.
Member Hanks.
Yes.
Member Davis.
Yes.
Member Mattingly.
Yes.
Member Latier.
Yes.
And Member Winnes.
Yes.
All in favor, the motion passes.
Okay. Item number 3, agency announcements and updates. It's probably easier if I go down the list. Ed, do you want to start us?
Yeah, I'll start. We're right now we're working with Civil Tech on our CDBG project. We should have 100% plans this week. That'll be moving forward. We're doing sidewalk improvement, road improvements, and drainage improvements over by our school. We're getting things set up, ready for the winter. Doing a few small drainage projects. Outside of that, staying about even, just trying to stay busy. Go ahead and you can go on.
Okay. Norm, you got anything for Prescott Valley?
Yeah, probably of regional significance. Our Viewpoint Connector project's coming along very well. We actually paved some main line of that, 1 mile extension. So, got the big box culverts in the Auburn Free River. So we look forward to that project being complete right after the first of the year. And that's it.
Okay, thanks. Ian, City of Prescott?
Yeah, our Willow Creek Road widening there up by Antelope and the Deepwell Curve, that's moving along pretty good. They are setting the forms and stuff. They've already got the paving done in front of Saddlewood and Antelope, and I know they are working on the equipment for the 2 new signals in there. But that widening's moving along, and it'll be done in the next several months, and that'll be a nice addition to get traffic back on it off 89. But apart from that, nothing else regionally.
Okay. And I guess I forgot me. I'll jump in before we hit ADOT. We've got some chip seal we did on our Road 2 North. We've still got some reconstruction to do over by Safeway and the highway. So we look to do that after the 1 North signal still. I think I mentioned that before. Big seal coat project. Couple positions we've got, as probably most of you know, Cecilia's retiring after the first of the year, so town's actively recruiting a new town manager. I think they hope to have someone selected in November before the holidays. And also in Public Works here, we're recruiting for a street superintendent. If anyone knows anyone that might be interested, it's about half in the office, half out on the crew. A lot of computer work, pavement management type stuff, but also still get out and play with the roads and run the crews. We've got a crew of 5 people, so not a big crew. And that's about it for Chino. I think to get back in the list, John, ADOT. Winnes?
Yes, yeah, thank you. Just a reminder that the State Transportation Board has 2 meetings in October. One is on the 16th, and the follow-up will be on the 17th, or excuse me, the 27th. And at that 27th meeting, the tentative 5-year facility construction program should be approved. So that's coming up, and it just, I'm sure it's of interest to a lot of people. The State Route 69 project, Frontier Village to Prescott Lakes Parkway is listed in the FY22 for construction. I think the total construction is 12.2 million total project. So it's an item of interest. It may not be news to you, but hopefully that'll be approved by the board on October 27th. ADOT's corridor planning group has not corridor profile studies that are going to be, we'll be sending out an RFP later this year. The CYMPO area had a corridor profile study completed in 2018 by AECOM. It included State Route 69, 89, and 89A. That should be updated. They're going to do the north half of the state first, and then the second half of the project will be the south half of the state. So the MPO will be contacted later on this year when that RFP is being prepared. ADOT's MPD COG and MPO guidelines manual has been out for review for the second half of September. that's a pretty large effort, and the manual is about 5 years old, so it's in need of updates. We should have that done by the end of 2020. I think that's all I've got, Mr. Chair, so I'll pass it on to the next person.
Okay.
Hey, Frank, before we move on, could John expand upon that corridor study for us, what that entails? You talked
Sure.
about northern Arizona. I mean, we did that
Yeah.
one that AECom did, and we're following it, but what's kind of the scope?
Well, the purpose of those corridor profile studies is they'll evaluate the performance of each of those corridors. And in this case, in the CYMPO area, you got State Route 69, State Route 89, and State Route 89A. And they evaluate the performance in 5 main categories: bridge, safety, mobility, pavement, and freight. And then based on the performance evaluation of each of those categories, they'll come up with a list of solutions or proposed projects to address those corridor needs. And those projects will inform the ADOT's planning to programming process, Norm. So it's a pretty large effort, and I'm sure I could get you the last corridor profile study if you'd like that for a reference.
Yeah, John, I think where I'm at, not to beat on ADOT, but I guess I am, you know, the pavement condition, as we know, is horrible. I just hope it's, you know, termed as maybe a corridor for preservation recommendations, but we're hearing a lot of feedback from our residents in Prescott Valley about the condition of Highway 69 here through Prescott Valley.
Right.
So, I mean, it's stating the obvious, but I would hope, you know, if it's a corridor study, I think the safety of bridges is important, but I think it ought to be, you know, maybe just for my input was, you know, preservation focused. I mean,
that's one of the
mobility is
5
one
main
thing,
categories.
but it's okay to look at mobility, but we keep hearing from ADOT, we have no money for, you know, the other 2 categories. You have, you know, expansion. So I'd like to think, you know, maybe have a preservation focus. That's just my input. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Okay. John Latier with ADOT, you have anything?
Yeah, we've got a couple. The Spring Lane intersection on State Route 69, that project is about to start. I think Andy's on with us. He might be able to offer a little more info on that. The State Route 89 Road 1 North intersection is scheduled to advertise later this month in October. That is scheduled to advertise for bids. John Wennis updated you on the State Route 69 widening project. We're anticipating that to keep moving forward. We're in process right now of working on the alternative selection report for the State Route 69 and State Route 169 roundabout project that is through CYMPO. We're working with the consultant on that, and we're also working on the State Route 89A Robert Road intersection. That's another CYMPO project. We've got a meeting coming up next week on that. So I wanted to follow up briefly, respond to Norm. If you're getting feedback on the pavement condition on State Route 69, I would suggest if the town isn't, that they either forward those concerns to ADOT or when people do contact the town, have them contact ADOT through the website and forward that. We do go through our P2P process, which is priority to programming process, and we are in the process of going through that right now, prioritizing projects that we recommend for funding in future programs. So that feedback is always helpful. Andy, do you have any info on Spring Lane?
Yes, thank you, John. The Spring Lane project actually is working right now, so the next couple of weeks they should be working on the cattle guard at Wildcat Way. That's for the for the high school. And also working on 69, actually removing that left turn lane at Wildcat Way also. So all of the traffic that used to go on Wildcat Way for left turns will now be directed up to the signal at Spring Lane. So and then they're also working on the pavement section for Spring Lane. Actually, we're putting in the extra lanes there, so it should have a right turn lane and then a left turn bay and a through later as well at that intersection. And then to Norm's point on the 69 corridor, yes, we have received complaints up here at the District 4 69, and we have had that segment of 69 recommended for a project. The current funding puts us at fiscal year 22 for a project and that through Prescott Valley to mill and fill that area, and that would be from the job that we completed at Mendocino up to Stone Ridge. And that's all I have.
Andy, is there anything you could send me on that that's, I don't know, pending or a white paper of some sort? Or a white sheet is all I'm asking?
Yeah, I wish this program, unfortunately, Norm, it doesn't, coming out of the pavement preservation group, it's not, these projects aren't in the 5-year program. They don't get scheduled that way. And we don't have anything, unfortunately, that's like an official document for those type of projects. Okay. Yeah, I'm just your partner, ADOT. I'll see what I can do, though. Yeah. I'm always a partner, but it'd be nice to tell them, yes, it's, really looking good for FY22. Maybe the calls will stop, but, it'd be nice to get them that information that, I'm, pretty close to all my residents here. And with my voice, I can say, yeah, it's currently being proposed in 22. Now, I understand that's tentative of funding, but it would keep people continuing calling, I'm sure. That's all I'm driving at.
Yeah, no, understood. What our process is we identify projects here at the district level, and it goes to the state level for prioritizing on a state level with the other districts.
Yeah, I understand it. And please understand, I don't volley back at ADOT and say, not my job, call ADOT. I want to be a partner and say, yeah, we've noticed the pavement condition, funding's tough. I take a little more time than just saying, don't call me, call ADOT. So I hope that's appreciated.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. Okay, and I just maybe have a question for ADOT and a thank you. I think it was a maintenance contract came through Chino Valley on 89, doing some sidewalk repairs, and it looked like, and I don't know, John, if you or Andy know, was it technically a slurry or a micro that they did through town?
Yeah, Frank, that was a slurry seal project through the maintenance unit up there, and then I know that they're still out there working on on sidewalk repairs. Our actual maintenance unit is actually doing that themselves out there right now.
Okay. So if you could pass on thanks and a good job so far, we appreciate it up here in Chino. So.
Will do. Thank you.
Anything else, Andy, on ADOT side?
Not that I have, no.
Okay. Anybody else I'm missing here?
I think you got everybody. I do have a quick question for Andy on the Spring Valley. There's going to be daytime lane closures on 69 with the signal project?
Yes, at certain points, yes. So when they're working on the 69, that left turn removal at Wildcat, there will be some lane closures when they do that out there.
Okay.
For most of the other stuff, right now, like I said, most of the other work right now is on Wildcat Way and then actually on Spring Lane. So Spring Lane will have some delays when they're working in that median area right now too.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. There's nothing else? guess we'll move on. I think we're at item 4, review and discussion and possible action to recommend approval of consultant selection for the Regional Adaptive Signal Control Technology Implementation and Deployment Plan. Chris, you want to take over?
Yeah, thank you. So we received 7 submittals, very competitive. And I want to thank everybody on the TAC for taking the time to read through all those and then submitting your scores based on the format and the RFP. And the resulting firm that came in highest scored was Burgess and Nyepel. And with your recommendation to move forward with that, we can take that to the executive board and start contract negotiations with BNN. And I should also say that any of the other firms that would like to reach out and contact me, please do. Just shoot me an email and we'll set something up and I can kind of do a debrief on their submittal and how they scored.
Okay. Anybody have any points of discussion or anything before I ask for a motion? Okay. With that, maybe ask someone for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make that motion to recommend approval to select Burgess and Nyepel as the consultant for the Regional Adaptive Signal Control Technology Implementation and Deployment Plan, and to select AECOM as runner-up.
I second that. Ian.
All right. Thanks, Norm and Ian. So we have a motion and a second. Can we get a roll call vote?
Sure. Vice Chair Marbury,
Yes.
Member Hanks,
Yes.
Member Davis,
Yes.
Member Mattingly,
Yes.
Member Latier,
Yes.
Member Winnis.
Yes.
Yes, all in favor, the motion passes.
Okay. Move on to item 5, review, discussion, and possible action to recommend approval of request for quotes for the SR 89, 89A eastbound on-ramp alternative selection report. I think this one's got Daniel's name on it.
Yep. Thank you, Frank. Do we have any further discussion about the scope and the moving this to January?
I have a comment, Mr. Chairman, if I could, about the scope.
Sure, Norm.
Whenever. I know we had some discussion yesterday, and Chris and I talked briefly before the meeting about including the 89A, corridor study that AECOM did in March of 18. But I did have, let me get my one last comment. The one comment in the scope, there's a item that's called an initial report, is based on field of view and other information. I guess just by my own inexperience, does that initial report go to the TAC, or is ADOT, plan reviewer guys involved in that too, and FHWA?
I would say that goes through the TAC.
I guess my biggest comment here is, we've got lots of good qualified engineers. I'm going to tell you, would like to think, since this is an ADOT facility, that particular review would be done through the ADOT channels, because that's where it's going to have validity, that we don't skip a beat, that, because this is going to be federal funded, I'm sure, on a federal system.
Oh, yeah.
So that just goes to my comment, when you have an initial report and a final report, sure, I'll look at it, but I'm not going to check the geometrics. I would like to think that's really up to, the guys that do that all the time and know the design standards. And for me to comment would kind of be out of place.
Okay.
And I understand the consultant we do select will do great work. I guess that's part of my comment is if the consultant we select runs it through the ADOT plan review folks as part of their timeline, that they say, yeah, they've got the endorsement of them, it meets all FHWA requirements, then great. Then the TAC can look at it and said, yeah, looks like good work.
Okay.
I guess,
Sounds
John, can you comment about that? I guess what procedure is typically at a ADOT MPD for plans of this nature?
You're muted, John.
Which John?
Either John's fine. I'm just looking for an ADOT guy, an ADOT John to answer, hopefully help with that answer.
Yeah, this type of a study would probably come through, even though it would go through CYMPO and the TAC, it would also go through ADOT. Through our design review, we would review it here at the district, but we would also include our design review teams.
Now, is any type of performance measure what, that can typically take through ADOT design review? I know you guys being busy, and typically they seem to be always overwhelmed too with in-house projects that people don't have money to do. So I just would like to think on a timeline, we're trying to continue to move this through.
Yeah, typically like a report like this would probably take something on the order of 3 to 4 weeks plus or minus per review phase. So we could include that in the schedule.
And I would imagine the consultants we select anyway are on the on-call, so they're pre-approved and those relationships are there that, really, I guess we can be submitted on the initial and final reports, but I'm going to look at it and say, it looks like great work, And, likewise, does anyone look at their estimate to say, yes, that's good by ADOT, so that when we say, yeah, we want to try to push this through the 5-year plan, it's already pre-endorsed by the ADOT guys in the know that are trusted to say, yeah, this is, good work, and pre-endorsed, so to speak.
Correct. And I'm looking over the list of the on-call contracts right now, and the consultants that are on there are all very familiar with ADOT work and the process.
I guess, Chris, that's what I know we're going to, look to table this for the next 60 days. I guess my point would be, I would like to think that there can be some dialogue with, ADOT about what that plan review time can be for an anticipated timeline.
Okay. So Daniel and I will work on cleaning that part up so it's clear. And I'm just looking at some of the notes I wrote down. Changing the reference of dual on-ramp to additional lane that John submitted. We'll make that change. We'll also reference the previous 89A corridor study that was done in March of 18, which has a couple of very high level options in there to at least reference and see what has already been done. And obviously adjust all the dates for due dates, including the one on the cover. And yeah, and being nice to everybody and waiting until the January meeting to actually issue the request for quotes out to avoid, having this come due in the middle of Thanksgiving and Christmas. And Daniel, did you have any other notes on that? I think that's all I had.
No, I believe you covered everything there.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Go ahead.
Chris, there was also, I had also made a comment about the scoring.
Correct. Changing that to points.
Okay.
Got it.
Any other discussion or questions? Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion to, or heck, why don't I go ahead and do it?
I can go ahead and take care of that, Frank, for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, this is Norm. I would make a motion to table the advertisement until after January 1st for the request for quotes for the SR 89, SR 89A eastbound on-ramp additional lane alternative selection report with noted changes as discussed today.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, let's, Allison, could we get a vote?
Sure. Vice Chair Marbury,
Yes?
Member Hanks,
Yes.
Member Davis,
Yes.
Member Mattingly,
Yes.
Member Latier,
Yes.
Member Winnes.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor, the motion passes.
Okay. Move on to item 6, discussion and possible action to hold election of officers for the TAC chairman and vice chairman. Positions are effective January 1st, 2021. And Chris?
Right. So we do like to rotate, but since Dan's not here, you can vote him in if you want.
That'd be my
so,
vote.
yeah. So Frank, as vice chair, if you were willing, be considered for chair for the next year. And then normal rotation would put Ed as vice chair. And Ed, I believe you contacted Allison about maybe skipping for you. Is that still accurate?
Yes, if we could.
Okay. So Norm, would you be open to be vice chair?
Yes, if there's no other takers or if that's a rotation, I'm happy with that. But happy to acquiesce to anyone that has any other different comment.
Yeah, I think that would be your regular rotation would be you would follow Ed.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion? Guess do we need motions, Chris? Is that?
We do.
What we-
You could do it as one if you would like, or you can do them separately.
Okay. Anyone want to make a motion to nominate?
I think Ed's making that motion.
Yeah, I move that we make that we approve the chairman and vice chair positions as discussed, with Frank Marbury moving into chairman and Norm Davis from Prescott Valley as vice chair.
Okay. Have a motion. Do we have a second?
Not going to second yourself, Frank?
Don't really want to, but,
I'll second that. Ian Prescott.
okay. I'm reluctant, so. Okay, we have a motion and a second from Ian. Thanks, Ian. And, can we get a vote?
Sure. Vice Chair Marbury,
Yes.
Member Hanks,
Yes.
Member Davis,
Yes.
Member Mattingly,
Yes.
Member Latier,
Yes.
Member Winnes.
Yes.
All in favor, the motion passes.
Okay. And Chris,
those
make
do,
sure to tell Dan.
Yeah, those become effective January 1st.
Okay. And like I said, tell Dan he got off lucky.
Yep.
So I guess the next item is item 7, discussion and possible action to approve the 2021 TAC meeting schedule. Have you got a schedule, Chris?
Yeah, let me see if I can get that up on the screen here. Here we go. So what we did this year, and it didn't really work out very well, was anticipating meeting dates that wouldn't happen because of conferences and the like. Obviously, the world changed dramatically, and a lot of those things ended up not happening. Our schedule got significantly busier. So what we've done for this year is went ahead and set aside what would be the normal regular meeting date and reserved, Allison's reserved the Crystal Room for all these dates with the town, which is where we would normally meet if we're in person. So unless you see any issues with these dates, this is what we'll go ahead and post for the upcoming year.
Okay, and that way, Chris, if we don't have enough agenda topics, we can just handle that the meeting before?
Correct, and we can obviously cancel these if we don't have any items.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion to accept this calendar?
Mr. Chairman, I move to accept the calendar as presented.
Thanks, Ed.
I'll second it. Norm?
Thanks, Norm. We have a motion and a second. Can we get a vote?
Vice Chair Marbury,
Yes.
Member Hanks,
Yes.
Member Davis,
Yes.
Member Mattingly,
Yes.
Member Letier,
Yes.
Member Winnis,
Yes.
all in favor, the motion passes.
And
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I wanted to note that Mark Hennig joined the meeting, and unfortunately he missed the agency updates, but I didn't know if you'd want to revisit that real quick before we adjourn, see if Mark has any ADOT updates for us from Phoenix.
Sure. Welcome, Mark, and like Chris said, we'll open it up. Any announcements or anything from ADOT?
Oh, I can see him. Mark, can you hear us?
You're muted, Mark.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
No audio there.
Might want to look at the bottom left of your screen there. Might be a mute button. Well, it must be his phone.
It's not showing that he's muted in Zoom.
Yeah.
Looks like it just froze. Buffering.
Nope. Well, if you do have anything, Mark, you can shoot us an email and we can share that with the group because we unfortunately can't hear you. But thanks for joining.
Mhm.
Okay. I apologize, Mark. We're not able to hear your audio. So, anybody have anything else? With that, I guess, Chris, we'll adjourn.
Yep.
I don't need a motion for that, right?
You don't really have to have one, but if you'd like one, you can.
No.
Okay. You're the chair. You're in charge.
No. We'll just say goodbye and thanks everyone for joining. So.
Great. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Take care.
you.